Marco.
Sean.
We're heading across the ocean.
Which one?
A different one this time.
The one that we crossed straight from California and
like we go west to get east.
Oh,
like that, or east.
The first time I did that trip, it wasn't actually for where we're going now, but although I've been in that country, and it sounded so weird that I was going to stay over the ocean for such a long time, and then you do a couple of times and you just get excited because I love that part of the world, that the down under. And I'm very excited to go there. Sean, I know you've been there too.
I have been, and I love it. And this is where we go against the norm, and we say it's not about the journey; it's about the destination. and the destination is Melbourne for the Australia Cyber Conference in Melbourne. It's the 26th through the 28th of November. It's just around the corner. We've joined the team at AISA, and Akash is with us. We're going to talk about the event and all the fun stuff going on and who's represented, who's speaking, who's attending, all the activities. I'm excited to get there and to be there and to be part of it.
Absolutely. Welcome, Akash.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Sean. We're very excited to have you come all the way here down under and be part of such a great event in November.
Yeah, I know. I was already thinking about what packing for the trip, and you kind of gave me absolutely no clue on what to bring because you say Melbourne is the city of the 4 seasons in a day. So
you bring 4 seasons in clothes and plus one.
I'll bring Vivaldi. How about that? I'll bring the 4th season of Vivaldi.
Absolutely.
No, very, very exciting.
Yeah, and I do carry an umbrella, a light a jacket. We absolutely. We can experience 4 seasons in a day over here.
All right, that
Nice.
sounds fun, actually.
Yep, 4 seasons and a lot of great conversations with some amazing people. But speaking of amazing people, let's get a word from you, Akash, about your role. Maybe the big picture of AISA and the organization and what it does, and this particular event is one of many. So if you can kind of give an overview of yourself and the org, that'd be great.
Sure. No, thank you, Sean. So my name is Akash Mittal. I am the chair for the Australian Information Security Association, AISA as we call it, AISA. I am a volunteer alongside a number of other board members who sit on the board, and we do have a small operations team who get all these very exciting, very great events across the line over the year. I'll talk about AISA. AISA is Australia's peak not-for-profit body for cybersecurity professionals, representing over 13,000 members who work across various sectors to safeguard the nation's digital landscape. Our members range from private industry to government entities, and they contribute their expertise to improve Australia's cyber resilience. They continuously work to protect the digital security and privacy of all Australians. Our mission is to support cybersecurity sector through workforce development, public outreach, and advocacy. And as part of that, we do a lot of networking, knowledge sharing events, and the national conference is part of that. We do 2 national conferences every calendar year. One that happens around in March in Canberra, and the another one which happens later in the year in October, and this year it's in November, which happens in Melbourne, and we call it Australian Cyber Conference. The conference this year is the 18th conference. We have been organizing these conferences for the last 9 years under the banner of Australian Cyber Conference. Previously, was a different name. We used to call it AISA National Conference, but 9 years ago we rebranded, and this is the 18th conference this year from 26th to the 28th of November.
Very cool. So sounds like in March we're going to have to come back there again.
Canberra.
Absolutely.
We just stayed all March.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know that that's possible. But anyway, so the theme this year, Future is Now. Tell us about how that theme came together. Is it driven by committee that kind of helps pull this together? Is it driven by the content that's submitted to you? And maybe an overview of how that shapes what we're going to get to experience this year.
Yeah, so it's a great question, Sean. The way the themes, are sort of a decision is made on the theme is based on what's going on, in the cybersecurity landscape, and there is a conversation internally within the operations team, the board, and community members to sort of come up with ideas of what will the theme should look like for the conference. We set the theme for the year, so both the conferences within the calendar year will be under the same theme. So the Canberra conference earlier this year in March had the same theme, Future is Now, and then Melbourne conference in November again is under the same theme, same context of Future is Now. I guess in terms of the idea behind the theme, it basically reflects the urgency to recognize, adapt, and safeguard our digital landscape, which has become an integral part of all our lives today and will continue to shape for future. The rapid technological advancements and digital transformation, that happened in the last couple of years, the introduction of AI, explosion of IoT devices, electric vehicles, they have immense influence on our day-to-day lives. And as we embrace this use of technology into our lives, there's that real need to also make sure that these there are safeguards. Their cybersecurity becomes a very important topic, and I think that's why the theme is very important, in particularly in terms of the timing, is because with all these new digital transformation, innovation, we think that we need to think about cybersecurity, privacy of users and the consumer base, as at the forefront rather than as an afterthought. So while these digital transformations, innovations are happening, we as a community, as the professionals who understand cybersecurity and privacy implications, we need to plan now. We need to protect against those risks for in the future.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more than the choice of the theme. I mean, my podcast, it is about technology and society, and I always say that the future is now, and we can't ignore it. Like if we're living our life like if it was 20, 30 years ago. So a big fan of that, and a big fan of the conversations that I believe I'm going to have before the event, and of course, full time when we're there. I'm looking at the keynotes. I want to kind of go there to reflect the fact that it is cybersecurity, but it's also how cybersecurity affects society. It's needed because it's driven by technology, so it kind of comes around. I mean, you got people that we know, like Joe Sullivan, we had it on the show. You have an astronaut, former astronaut, Jose Hernandez. You got another friend, Miko Hipponen, that we know very well. You have actors, Carl Penn. So I see people that are in the government, people that are journalists. You're embracing society. So tell me a little bit about that. It's cybersecurity, but not strictly.
Yeah, look, we tend to, Marco, we tend to bring in people from all sorts of background, and that sort of brings in the diversity of experience that they can bring into the conference and share their experiences with our delegates, at the conference. And I think that's again goes through quite a diligent process of selection of keynote speakers as part of the committee, that is formed around organizing these conferences. And we'll look at aspects of what can we bring in to the conference to really provide a wide variety of experience from these keynote speakers. We've got Nina Schick, coming and talking on the Thursday morning. She's a global AI personality. She's going to come in and talk about the opportunities, the risks in AI, and again, it's very important, for our delegates to understand different perspectives from these experts in the individual fields. Jose Hernandez, you talked about him. Great story. There's a movie on Amazon Prime about his journey of how committed he was to his dream of becoming an astronaut, and he tried 11 times before he was successful. And I think this is the viewpoint, or again the experience we would like to bring to our delegates at the conference is resilience is a very important aspect of what we do in cybersecurity. We talked about Carl Penn. Carl Penn's talking on the Thursday evening. This is where we've had the 3 days of the conference, 350 sessions plus on cybersecurity. We want to close the conference on a bit of a lighter note, where we talk about his experience of acting days, transitioning from being an actor into going and working in the Obama administration in the White House. I'm also cognizant as it's U.S. election this month. What views, political views he's got about the election and post the outcome of that election campaign. What he would like to share with our Australian delegates is, I think, where it can be very interesting to bring that experience together of being an actor, have an understanding of the political side of things, the policy side of things, and how he will bring that together for our audience will be something we'll really look forward to. We also have a lot of speakers from the government coming in addressing the delegates. We've got the Ambassador for Cybersecurity, Mr. Brendan Dowling, coming in doing an address at the conference. We have our National Cybersecurity Coordinator, Lieutenant General Michelle McGuinness. She's coming in talking at the conference. The one thing I'd like to add at this point, Marco and Sean, within Australia, we've been going through a bit of a journey in terms of cybersecurity. In the last couple of years, there's quite a bit of activity that has been undertaken by the federal government in terms of we've got a new cybersecurity strategy, a national cybersecurity strategy that was released late last year. And as part of that, there are more initiatives that are coming out as part of implementing that strategy. Just last month, a new cybersecurity legislative package was actually tabled at the Parliament. And we're going through that process here in Australia at the moment, where there's quite a bit of discussion around the inclusions of that package and how that's going to impact the businesses, the professionals, how it's going to make Australia a more cyber resilient country overall. And it's quite timely that this conference is happening in November, because it gives us an opportunity to have people from the government come and talk about those inclusions of those cybersecurity bill and how they will affect or improve our cyber resilience overall. And we're expecting, some of these representatives from the government and the government agencies will touch upon some of those aspects of the cybersecurity legislative package when they're at the conference.
I'm excited to meet some of them and have some great conversations. Perhaps some before, certainly some on site. I want to talk about Akash, about what people can expect. So clearly, future is now looking at resilience. How does the Australian infrastructure and society deal with the threats that they're facing with respect to technology and cybersecurity? And he also spoke to the work that AISA does with individuals approaching and entering and operating as employees in this space. How does the program kind of help bridge all those gaps? We have professionals, we have academia, we have government, we have researchers, and then there's this program where hopefully we can all come together and find the things that interest us, that drive us, make us personally resilient, make our teams resilient, make our organizations, make our society resilient. So can you paint that picture, maybe touch on some of the program? I know there's some workshops and knowledge sessions and some villages. So how does all that come together to make that possible?
Yeah, it's a great question, Sean, and I'll try to cover it as best as possible because the program itself is very comprehensive. 350 sessions across 3 days, 440 plus speakers across 3 days. We've got workshops. More than a dozen workshops across the 3 days. We've got 12 sessions in the plenary. We've got a knowledge sharing hub on the exhibition floor, which is open for small to medium-sized businesses and NFPs, and then we've got villages. So let me try to break this down. The first thing I'll say is the way the conference overall is designed it's designed in a way that there is something for everyone. You walk in, you go onto the exhibition floor. We have created activation spaces around the exhibition floor, which we call, the villages and the knowledge sharing hub, where people can go and interact and learn and sort of know more about, any particular areas that they're interested in when they are, visiting these villages. And I'll come back to the villages in a minute. As part of the program, there are 24 streams that we are catering for in terms of speakers, covering across those 24 streams, from, GRC, governance, risk and compliance, to quantum, to AI, to, human risks, mental health, critical infrastructure. So again, like as I said, the way the program has been designed is that there's something for everyone. When you come to the conference, we have a conference website, cyberconference.com.au. The program's there available now with all the sessions, with the locations, with the speaker details and everything. We encourage everyone to spend the time before coming to the conference to look through the program, to identify what interests them. What is it that they're finding a challenge in their personal life or working life, answers to the questions they're looking for, and then find those relevant topics or speakers as part of the program, and then make it really worthwhile when you come to the conference. It is a quite extensive program. We've received this feedback, where people have turned up to the conference without really looking through what the program really includes or has to offer, then it can be a little bit overwhelming on the spot for the speakers to, for the delegates to identify which ones are worthy of their time. So I think that preparation is really important coming to the conference. In terms of workshops, hands-on workshops are available across the 3 days where people can go, and it's a classroom style workshop. People can sit down and sort of practically see, an instructor-led classroom style workshop to understand, how to do certain things. It's threat hunting or, particular feature set or a capability that they would like to understand how it works. That's available as part of the program.
There's some cool things in there, Akash. I mean, I see some SAN stuff. I see some MITRE stuff, playbooks, and SOC workshops. I mean, lots of amazing things in there. So, it's, as you noted, something for everybody.
Correct.
Get your hands dirty. Yep. Love it.
Yes, absolutely. And look, I'll go back to the concept of the villages. So these villages are on the exhibition floor and they're open to all. So the way the conference is structured is we've got the main plenary, all the session rooms that are part of the main conference, and then we have the exhibition hall where we have all our exhibitors, our sponsors, who are going to be talking about their capabilities, product sets, and what they have to offer. As part of that, what we have also included is we've got these villages, and they are three villages that I'm going to talk about. One is the Careers Village. And basically what that is, it's open to all to go and participate and sort of understand, basically, again, get answers to any questions they have. If someone is looking to advance their career in cybersecurity, or even looking to making a change into the field of cybersecurity, we have industry experts who are going to be available there throughout the day for across the 3 days, who they can go and have a chat and learn from their experiences. This village is will be sort of representative by the industry experts, people who have a career in cybersecurity, know the ins and outs. We will also be providing, as part of the Career Village, a resume review. If someone wants to, get some feedback on their resume and sort of want any points to change or improve the way they have drafted their resume. We also, as part of the Careers Village, there will be tips on interviews. What are some of the tricks or tips that people can use to crack an interview? There'll be talks about how to build a brand. We all talk about networking. We talk about you gotta have a brand in the sector. So there'll be people who have actually done it quite successfully, and they're going to be sharing the insights on how to do that. The second one is the Log Sport Village, and this is basically to give the delegates an experience into the physical security aspect of cybersecurity. As part of our controls within cybersecurity, physical security is a big topic, and it's a very important control. The Log Sport Village gives a practical workshop for people to sit and attend and see how the physical logs actually work, and what techniques are used by threat actors to actually break these logs. There are tools and logs of different kinds, that are made available for attendees to get their hands on and sort of try to learn how to use these techniques to crack open these logs. So again, we did that last year. People enjoyed it. We're bringing it back again. We're making it a little bit more fun this time. The third village is the AI Village, and which is I'm personally very excited about. This is a new concept this year that we are introducing in the conference. The AI Village is basically what we're trying to do is it's got two parts to it. One is I capture the flag kind of a lab experience, where people who really would like to know how to use prompt injection techniques to and use AI for that. And then the other part is where we're going to be creating these scenarios, and we will hand those scenarios out for attendees to come in and try their hands onto large language models and understand how your input into the large language models can actually influence the output of large language models. And so it's going to be quite interesting for a lot of people to see through those techniques, through those prompts, how you can actually change the behavior or change the output for these large language models. The last one that is going to be also be part of the exhibition hall is the knowledge sharing hub that I talked about earlier. We think it's very important to have the small, medium businesses and non-for-profits to understand some very practical tips of how they can safeguard their businesses, on a day-to-day basis. Their challenges around cybersecurity are quite different to large organizations, and the techniques that work for small, medium businesses and non-for-profits can be very different. Their requirements are very different. And that's why we've catered for their requirements as part of this knowledge sharing hub. They're going to be around 40 talks across the 3 days. And it's going to be volunteers who are going to come up on this podium and talk about something, which is quite practical in terms of achieving from a cybersecurity resilience perspective. To provide to the small, medium businesses participants to take something back and implement in their businesses. So again, like as it's shown, Marco, there's a lot for everyone to come and get out of this conference. One thing that we constantly say is this is a perfect opportunity for a community to come together, build networking, learn from other people's experience, and that's the fundamental purpose of this conference is to get a community come together, share their experiences, build a network, and I think that's a very important aspect of I think making Australia more cyber resilient as a group, coming togethere.
And I gotta tell you that when we were kind of scouting around where are we gonna make our commitment to come all across the ocean, like we started the big blue ocean, and we were looking at what was going on that part of the world, I get to say we had so many feedback and many people that were like, that is the up and coming, but also established. It's not a question mark. It's something that is happening. 18 years, as a participant, what the quality of the talk you can find, and you said it. I mean, it is the networking. I mean, Sean before than me, obviously, but I have my own experience in the largest conferences in cybersecurity in the world, and when you can bring the audience together, it's not about the number. You're never going to be able to listen to 350 talks or or do everything there. You have to be selective. But what it really matters is what happened in between. It's what happened in the whole. It's what happened when you meet other people. And I heard amazing thing about what you guys are doing. I know the culture. I'm excited to be part of this. But there's one thing I want to remind you. Maybe you can talk for a second about. You also have 150 exhibitors, and I know that if this is possible, is also because of people that are company and the people they bring on the table. So a couple of thoughts and about the exhibition hall.
100%, Marco. You touched upon a very important aspect. Look, I think we are very grateful to have such a collaborative community over here, and again, I think a big thanks goes out to our sponsors, our exhibitors, who actually make this possible for us to do what we do. We are a non-for-profit organization, as I mentioned earlier, and it sort of goes back to the sponsorship that we get to put this conference together. Without the sponsorship, there's really no conference there. So look, we are very fortunate, like as I said, to have a very cohesive, collaborative ecosystem over here. Our sponsors, they understand the value of being there at such a important event and sort of interacting, and again goes back to the whole networking aspect of the conference. This is a perfect opportunity for our sponsors, our exhibitors, to interact with the community and sort of build relationships, understand what the challenges are. Sometimes you could be assuming things, but this gives a perfect opportunity for everyone to come together and talk about what are the real issues, what are the real challenges that people are trying to solve, and there is a gap in the market. Gives our sponsors, exhibitors, an opportunity to take that feedback back into their organizations, and then try to solve and come out with solutions, services, platforms, whatever that they can then help the community to solve for those challenges. So yeah, great point, Marco. 100%. We are very fortunate to have the 150 plus sponsors who are going to be there. When you're here, I really encourage that you go and talk to them and hear from them what motivates them to be part of such a good cause.
Yeah, and there's no question a ton of innovation in the region from the tech perspective, which we were just talking about, but also in the policy and in the government perspective, kind of helping to drive from the top down a nice view of here's what we need to do for Australia and our partners in the region to be resilient, as we spoke to. And I think, yeah, the individuals and all the folks coming together, including including the sponsors, kind of round out that big picture. I'm hoping to have some conversations with some of the exhibitors there as well for some briefings to learn about some of those innovations, perhaps even some of the small, medium business folks we can connect with as well. I want to close here, and I'll give you the final word, of course, Akash, but I think it's important. It's easy. There's a lot of stuff going on with the election at the moment. Bubbles start to form, right? One gets a view of what they think is important. And for me, it's important to keep an open mind for what's going on around the world. Now, Marco and I, a few years back, had the privilege of going to Singapore for an event there that was pretty decent size. And we were able to meet with some government folks from Singapore and get the perspective of what's going on there and in the region as well. I've missed that for the last couple of years in the APAC, APJ region. So I'm excited to get that experience, get those conversations going, bring those back to our audience who are global, and kind of open folks up to what's going on. Like I said, there's a lot of innovation, I'm sure, taking place there in Australia, and I want to bring that to folks to hear. Maybe there's some lessons to be learned around programs, policies, regulation, whatever it might be. I'm really looking forward to that and sharing that with our audience. So I appreciate you and the team, Akash, for choosing to partner with us to make this happen, and I'm excited.
Now, look, Sean, thank you. We're excited, as I said at the start. We're very excited about this partnership, and we are very glad that you are making the trip all the way to Down Under, and going to be spending the week here with us. You make a very good point about the bubbles, and I think again, it goes back to bringing everyone together and breaking those silos and connecting, everyone together. We do have a really strong ecosystem of innovation over here, as you will see at the conference. We do bring in a lot of startup at the conference. And again, I will encourage you to sort of go and have a chat with them and see how they see solving the problems in cybersecurity and privacy, and maybe a mechanism to take their voice overseas through your medium, to see if that is a problem across the boundaries of Australia, where there's an opportunity for them to address the other markets.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
There is for sure no boundaries when it comes to cybersecurity. It's a global problem, and I think it requires a global solution, as we spoke many times when we touch on international relationship and political science and government collaborating one with another. And I'm excited to talk to all the people that are going to be there from the Australian government and other government in the region, because that could be a really good connection and a table where everybody hopefully can sit and have a constructive conversation, right? That's what we need now. So
Yes.
can't wait to get on the big metal bird that is going to bring us there.
I was going to take the boat. But,
You're going to go with the
maybe I'll fly.
we got a couple of other things before that. So
all right, I'll fly.
You can't take all that time, although it will be fun. No,
That's
everybody needs to stay tuned. This is our first of many, many conversations. As our audience know, there'll be some pre-event, but when we're there in person, we're there. So if anybody that wants to chat with us, say hi, or actually get on the mic with us, that will be fantastic. Obviously, speakers, keynotes, and people from the organization.
Yeah. Cyberconference.com.au, the Melbourne event, Melbourne 2024.cyberconference.com.au. Of course, ITSPmagazine has the conference there on our site. 26th through 28th of November, just around the corner, Melbourne Convention Center and Exhibition Center, if I can only speak. Excited to be there. Everybody stay tuned, subscribe, share with your friends and enemies, and let us know if you have a story to share as well. Akash, thank you so much.
Sean, thank you so much. Marco, thank you so much for your time.
Can't wait to meet you in person.
Same here. Look forward to it.
Bye, everybody.
See you.